All right, freshmen, as you listen to this video, make sure you are filling in the 16 frame form. 16 frames. If you have not done so already, you take a sheet of notebook paper and you divide it in half horizontally, and then you take that paper and you divide it in book style, and then you fold it horizontally again, and one more book fold, and crease it. Once you open it, you will have 16 frames. If you have not done so already, go ahead and create this template so that you can fill in key ideas and details from the teacher's expectations and norms. Okay? As the teacher provides the information, you will fill in each box. There are 16 boxes. The teacher will discuss 16 key norms that lead to your success. In each box, you do not have to write complete sentences. You need to bullet key points, key ideas. Write enough information in each square that would help you understand how to be successful. What is it that the teacher expects? There will be a norms quiz, so make sure you keep the notes and you take accurate notes, paying close attention to what the teacher expects. Norm 1, starting the class. Ms. Hightower will stand at the door most days when she's able to be there to greet you. This is her position. That is her duty. This is how she starts the class. She wants to say good morning to each of the students. She wants to be able to notice haircuts and shoes and all TC uniforms. This is her opportunity to greet you individually as you enter the class. When you enter the class, it is okay to say hello to your peers. It is okay to speak to your table mates. You should say hello. There is an assignment posted on the whiteboard. There may be an assignment that she handed you at the door. Please start the assignment. When the teacher enters, she will circulate to each of the desks. If you have a question about starting the assignment, ask. But the teacher should never enter the room and your desk is blank. That is a no-no. You want to make sure if it says, write this, you have already taken your paper out. While you're speaking to your peers, take your paper out. Take your pen or pencil out. Get the colored note card out. Open your book. Whatever it is that is posted on the screen, always start the class. You start the class. Do not wait for Ms. Hightower to start the class. Norm 2, ending the class. Ms. Hightower ends the class. You should never pack, ever, until the teacher gives you directions to do so. Do not ever pack. If we are having a discussion, if we are finishing an assignment, the teacher will give you directions to pack. Do not pack until Ms. Hightower says, okay, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our instructional time for today. You are free to use your electronics for personal reasons. Until Ms. Hightower does that, make sure you stay on task. Also, we remain seated until the bell rings. Some teachers may allow you to stand and congregate. Not in this class. You must remain seated at all times. The teacher will give you the directive to pack. Using the restroom, Norm 3. Ask to use the restroom. The teacher will write you a pass. This should not be abused. You definitely should not be asking to go to the restroom in one class period every single day. That's unacceptable. You can, however, put your things down, come into class.
The 10th grade English PLC is meeting in room 333 at this time. Thank you.
You can, however, come into class, put your belongings down, and run back out to the restroom. And if you return within 1 or 2 minutes of the tardy bell, the teacher will not mark you tardy. So if you have to go to the restroom, come into class, put your belongings down, and go. Immediately go. You're free to do that. As long as you come back within 1 to 2 minutes of the tardy bell, you will not be marked tardy. Otherwise, you may use the restroom. Do not ever address going to the bathroom in front of your whole class. If the teacher's teaching and you raise your hand, it should be a question about the lesson, not, may I go to the restroom? Don't ever do that in front of 25, 30 people. As the teacher circulates, you can ask to go to the restroom. If the teacher is at her desk, you may ask to go to the restroom. You may go as long as it's not the first 10 minutes of class or the last 10 minutes of class. You should not ask to go to the restroom in one class period more than 3 times a quarter. Any more than that, you are abusing your privilege, and Ms. Hightower will probably have a conversation with you. Norm 4, supplies. Please buy your supplies by Monday, January 10th. You are responsible to have your own supplies. You don't want to be the student who's asking to borrow supplies. We use the majority of the supplies that have been listed, so you want to have your own supplies. You are discouraged from asking your peers to borrow supplies. This is frowned upon. You want to have your own materials. We use most of the supplies. If you need help financially, just reach out to the teacher. Cell phones. Ms. Hightower believes that your phone is this is square 5. Ms. Hightower believes that your phone is a computer. It is a personal computer. Notice, we don't have any laptops for everybody's use. So Ms. Hightower will allow you to use your phone for personal, not for personal reasons. Yes, for personal reasons when she says, at the end of class, but otherwise, you may use your phone as a computer. If you need to look up a word, a synonym, an antonym, if you need to use Google to search, you will be able to do so. Just alert the teacher what you are doing. If you are scrolling, okay, the teacher doesn't give any warnings. If you're scrolling, if you're using the phone personally and you have not been advised to do so, the teacher will ask you to take your phone to student affairs. And I believe they give ISS immediately. So make sure your phone is not visible unless the teacher says otherwise. She does not give any warnings. You will be instructed immediately to take your phone to student affairs. Now, even though you may not use your phone.
Good morning, teachers. This is just a reminder, if you could please check your mailboxes again this morning for makeup semester exam slips. We are continuing with exams today. We still have approximately 150 to 200 exams to administer. So if you could please check your boxes, that would be great. And department heads, if you could please check in with the media center with me at least twice today, during your planning or lunch, and then after school. That would be really helpful to get these scanned as soon as possible. Thank you so much and have a fantastic day.
Even though you may not use your phone unless the teacher says otherwise, you are always free to charge your phones. There are several outlets around the room, so feel free to charge your cell phone. Okay, norm 6, eating, drinking in class. You are permitted to eat and drink in class. The drinks must be capped. You cannot have an open soda can. Just think, anything that can be knocked over and spill, you may not use that. Anything that, if you knock it over, the cap is on, you can use that. So you're free to drink. If you have a munchie, a bag of goldfish, some candy, you are free to eat candy. You are free to eat in this class. Look at the floor. It should be clean. That's exactly how the floor should be when you leave. If there is one candy wrapper or one goldfish left on the floor, the class loses the privilege. Asking for help. Ms. Hightower will circulate to your desk frequently.
If you are subbing on campus today, please make sure you check the teacher's mailbox before first period. If you are a sub on campus, please make sure you check the teacher's mailbox before first period. Thank you.
Asking for help as the teacher circulates to each of the desks. If you have a question, ask. If you are working independently, see if your classmates can help you before reaching out to the teacher. If the teacher is at the desk, raise your hand. You may approach the teacher to receive help. If you need an assignment clarified and the teacher did not clarify it to your expectations, please request that the teacher clarifies the assignment so that you can understand it. But you can always ask for help. The teacher will never make you feel crazy for asking a question. There'll never be anything sarcastic said. You can feel safe to ask for help. Tardies. You must be in your seat when the bell rings, or else you will be marked tardy in this class. Again, you must be in your seat when the bell rings, or else you will be marked tardy. Classwork. For classwork, all classwork is independent. All classwork is independent. You may be allowed to work with your group, but you should always have your own copy. The teacher will let you know if you are able to share your answers with your group. So just because you are seated as a group, you do not do group work. You may think together, you may collaborate, but you must always have your own work. How to submit, you may, depending on if the teacher requests the work to be submitted to Canvas. If it's handwritten, you must use Genius Scan, Microsoft Lens to upload, or you will place the work in the basket that's located on the podium. You must write in blue or black pen in this class only, or you may use pencil. No markers, no pink, no green. You may use those as highlighters, but you must write in blue or black pen only. When you return from an absence, you must check Canvas. The teacher updates all work in Canvas every single day. So you want to check the Canvas front page, the home page, or a module. So you are responsible to check the work. You have 3 days from your absence to have your work turned in. Class discussions. When we participate in class discussions, you are responsible to contribute your thoughts. You must contribute thoughtfully. I won't spend a lot of time here, as I'll clarify as we approach the class discussions, but for class discussions, which we have often, you must use the material you prepared, and it is your responsibility to submit thoughtful contributions to our class discussions. Paper headings. You are responsible to have a proper heading on all of your assignments. All of your assignments. Your assignments should be labeled. Take a look at the upper left corner of a sheet of notebook paper. In the upper left corner, you will write your first and last name on the first line. The second line, you write Miss Hightower's name and first period. The third line, you write English 1. The fourth line, you write the date, and you always title the assignment. Again, on the first line in the upper left, first and last name. Second line, Hightower -1, first period. Third line, English 1. Fourth line, date, and then you title the assignment. Okay, so for your next frame, school drills, fire drills. If we're having a fire drill in first period, you will exit right, and we go to the very front of the school. Again, for a fire drill, we exit right and go to the front of the school. If it is a lockdown drill, we will go to the back wall, the far back corner, across from the teacher's desk, and everybody will cower and you are quiet. If you are talking during a lockdown drill, you will receive a discipline referral. The teacher does write discipline referrals if you are not quiet during a lockdown drill. Integrity. Integrity is who you are when no one is looking. Are you an honest person? Are you honest? So if the teacher says you all should not be using your phones for personal reasons, if you take out your phone and say, Miss Hightower, may I search something in Google? And she says yes. If you have a text message waiting or a notification waiting, because you're honest, you know you shouldn't check personal issues until the teacher shuts the class down. So you will ignore the text. You won't open that notification. You will use your phone only as an instructional device. You're an honest person. So the teacher expects you to use integrity at all times. If the teacher steps outside to make a call or to speak with another adult who visits the class, and she says you should not use phones for personal reasons, she expects that just because she's outside, You have integrity. You're honest. No one should have to watch you to see that you're doing the right thing. If you know I shouldn't be using my phone right now, that's what the teacher expects. Whether she's looking or not, I'm an honest person. Our whole world operates in integrity. We need people to be honest. If people aren't honest, it violates our social norms. When we park on parking lots, we expect people not to dent our cars. When we go out to restaurants, we expect the workers not to drop our food and put it back on the plate or spit in our food. So integrity is really important to be a part of the human culture. Sleeping. You are not allowed to put your head down. The teacher doesn't know if you have gone into a diabetic coma, if you are sick, or whatever it may be. So if you put your head down, the teacher will wake you up. You are not allowed to sleep in class. And finally, the success code. If you take a look at the bright pink sign next to the windows on the wall, the success code says arrive on time, bring required materials, speak with permission only. Look, see how you're arranged in groups? The teacher wants you to be able to talk, or else she would have you arranged in rows. Since she wants you to be able to talk, she put you in groups. However, if she's given instruction, if one of your peers are sharing, that's not the time for you to talk. You will lose your seating. The first move the teacher will make is she will move your seat if your behavior is a problem in your group. After that, she will use Google Voice on her computer and she will communicate with your parents. She will send your parents a text alerting them of your behavior. After that, you'll receive detention and then you'll receive a referral to your principal. All right. You want to make sure you remain on task. Number 4, big pink sign, success code. Always remain on task. If the task is read, make sure you're reading. If the task is writing, make sure it's writing. If the task is watching, make sure it's watching. If it's listening, you're listening. Remain on task at all times. Keep your hands, feet, and unpleasant words to yourself. I want everyone to feel safe. I don't want anybody hitting anyone and tripping anybody or saying anything mean. You will receive consequences for that. The good news is the teacher does send good news grams to parents of students who are doing the right thing. So if you are a student who's starting the class correctly, you don't use the restroom a lot, you bring your supplies, you never violate the cell phone policy, you ask for help accordingly. You're always in class on time. You participate in class discussions. You always properly head your paper. The teacher will send good news grams to your parents. I do want to say for proper headings, and we'll talk more about this later, but the teacher will not accept your work. It will be returned to you if your work doesn't have a proper heading. All right, so let the teacher know at this time if you have any questions.